Hello, teachers from all over the world. My name is Tanya from TanyaTeacherTraining.com, and today I will be explaining what audiolingualism is, some basic principles, and how to do drilling. Do you want to know more? Well, stay here with me for the next minutes and you'll see. Before we start, if this is your first time here, we'd like to thank you and remind you to subscribe so you don't miss on anything and you can participate in our free teaching courses. Let's begin, shall we? First, the emergence of the audiolingual method. Foreign language teaching prevailed in US towards the end of the 1950s. The need of a new approach for foreign language teaching methodology was the result of the launching of the first Russian satellite in 1957. The government decided a more intensive effort to teach foreign languages was needed so Americans did not face isolation from scientific advances made in other countries. Now I will talk about the methodological practices of audiolingualism. There are 4 practices that you need to know about. Number 1. Audiolingualism considers foreign language learning as a process of mechanical habit formation. Good habits are formed by giving correct responses and not by making mistakes, which is why the memorization of dialogues and performance of drills was so important, to avoid making mistakes. Language is verbal behavior. Principle number 2. Language skills in general are learned more effectively if the items introduced to students are presented first in a spoken form and then in a written way. Principle number 3. Analogy comes before analysis. That means that students first practice a pattern in a variety of contexts before the explanation of rules takes place. Students need to have a perception of the analogies involved. Drilling enables learners to perform correct analogies. The approach of grammar is inductive. What does that mean? We basically use or show students a few examples of how grammar is used and then ask students what they notice about grammatical patterns. And principle number 4. Teaching a language involves teaching aspects of the cultural system of the people who speak the language. So we need to have a context that involves, in a certain way, those cultural aspects, so it is clearer for our students how language is used. All those 4 principles were drawn from the theory of behaviorism. Now, something you need to know is that dialogues and drills are an essential part of audiolingualism. The dialogues contextualize key structures and illustrate situations in which the target language, that is the language you're teaching, is used, as well as some cultural aspects of the TL, the target language. Dialogues are used for repetition and memorization. The emphasis is on correct pronunciation, rhythm, stress, and intonation patterns. After the dialogue has been presented and memorized, grammatical patterns in the dialogue are selected and they become the focus of different kinds of drills. The use of drills and pattern practice is a distinctive feature of the audiolingual method. And now, how to do drilling. There are 12 kinds of drills. I will explain each one and give you an example so you know how to do it, okay? Number 1. Repetition drill. Here the student repeats an utterance after the teacher has said it. He's not supposed to see the printed text. The sentence must be brief enough for the student to be able to retain it and repeat it. For example, we are going on a cruise this year. Or, I haven't seen that film yet. Number 2. Inflection drill. Here, one word in an utterance appears in a different form when students repeat it. For example, I lost my key. I lost my keys. So here we go from singular to plural. Or he arrived late and she arrived late. Here we go from masculine to feminine. Number 3, replacement drill. When one word in the utterance is replaced by another one. For example, they have bought a nice house. They have bought a nice dog. They have bought a nice dress. Number 4, restatement drill. In this drill, the student rephrases the utterance and addresses to someone according to instructions. For example, tell him to introduce himself. That's what you tell one of your students. And then he says, introduce yourself. Or the teacher says, ask them if they enjoyed the show. So the student says, did you enjoy the show? Number 5, completion drill. The student completes an utterance that is missing only one word. Then he or she repeats the utterance in completed form. For example, you can go if you can go if you like. Or we all have our homework. We all have finished our homework. Number 6, transposition drill. Here a change in word order is necessary because a word is added. For example, she is British. So am I. Or they have never read it. Neither have we. Number 7, expansion drill. When a word is added, it takes a certain place in the sequence. For example, she reads books. Hardly ever. She hardly ever reads books. Or we swim every day. Well, we swim well every day. Number 8, contraction drill. A single word stands for a phrase or clause. For example, I love the way you smile. I love that. Or, go to the newsstand. Go there. Number 9, transformation drill. Here, a sentence is transformed by being made negative, interrogative, when there's a change in tense, mood, voice, or modality. For example, the original sentence is, they planted some trees. So you want it in interrogative form. Did they plant some trees? Negative form. They didn't plant some trees. Using how. How do they plant some trees? Using second conditional. If they planted some trees. Number 10, integration drill. Here, two separated utterances are integrated into one. For example, it is getting late. You should know that. So the student says, you should know that it is getting late. Or, Maria claims to be smart. She goes to university. And then the student says, Maria, who claims to be smart, goes to university. Number 11, rejoinder. The student makes an appropriate response to a given utterance. He's told in advance to respond in one of these ways. Be polite, answer a question, express surprise, agree, etc. For example, be polite. You say, thank you. The student says, you're welcome. Or agree. You say, they are superfluous. The student says, I couldn't agree more. And the last drill, number 12, restoration drill. The student is given a sequence of words from a sentence that still carries the basic meaning. He must restore the sentence to the original one. For example, school bus, flat tire, this morning. And the student says, the school bus had a flat tire this morning. And that is how you do drilling. Interesting, huh? Well, that'll be all for today, teachers. Don't forget to visit our website, tinyteachertraining.com, in order to know more about teaching techniques and methodologies. and write your questions in the comments. I will answer all of them. See you soon, teachers. Bye-bye. Thanks for watching.